For the last few years, we've all been talking about AIS, a productivity tool, something that makes us a little faster. Well, I'm here to tell you that conversation is officially over. We're now looking at a total fundamental redesign of how engineering organizations actually work, and it's all being driven by AI agents. So let's just dive right into the blueprint for what's coming next, the post-agent engineering org.
And we have to start with this quote because, wow, it just perfectly captures how fast this is all moving. The old model, the one that, let's be honest, most of us are probably still working in, was built on a core assumption that has just been completely shattered. And here's that shattered assumption. We always thought that humans were the execution layer. We write the code, we run the tests, we deploy the features. Everything from sprint planning to QA was built around human speed and human coordination. But the new reality? AI agents are the execution layer now. And that simple fact changes literally everything about how we build and structure our teams.
Okay, so if the old human pyramid structure is obsolete, what comes next? What replaces it? The answer is a totally different way of thinking. It's a new 5-layer architecture, one that's designed from the ground up for this new world where humans and agents have to work together.
And here it is. This is the entire model in one picture. You can see these 5 distinct layers, right? From the highest level strategy all the way down to the technical foundation. And the big idea here is actually pretty simple. Humans move up. We focus on defining the intent and making the tough judgment calls, while the agents, well, they handle the execution. Let's break this down layer by layer.
So, at the very top, you've got Layer 1, Executive Leadership. The titles look familiar, right? CEO, CTO. But what they do is changing. And notice that new addition, the Chief AI and Data Officer. This isn't just another tech role. Think of it as a governance role. Their job is to make the entire AI system trustworthy, auditable, and actually aligned with the business goals. This layer sets the why.
Okay, let's drop down to Layer 2, the engineering divisions. This is where you see the leadership role really start to transform. If you're leading a platform, product, or security division, you are no longer managing activity. You're not asking, did we complete all the tickets in the sprint anymore? Instead, you're managing outcomes. The conversation totally changes. It becomes, is our system reliable? Or did the feature that agent built actually meet what the customer wanted? It's a huge shift from managing people's effort to owning the system's results.
And that brings us to the most visible change of all, the new fundamental unit of delivery. And guess what? It's not your traditional team of engineers anymore.
Yep. Say hello to the hybrid squad. Forget the daily stand-ups and the endless Jira tickets designed to coordinate 6 or 8 people. The new model is way leaner. It's one human lead paired with an entire fleet of AI co-pilots. The human's job is to set the priorities and make those critical judgment calls, while the AI fleet does all the heavy lifting. Your team didn't get smaller, it just got a whole lot smarter.
And the workflow, it's so much more streamlined. The human lead basically says, here's the goal, here's the intent. Then the AI co-pilots get to work, generating the code, the tests, the deployments, the whole thing. And finally, the human lead steps back in to review the output, making sure it lines up with that original intent. It's a super clean separation of strategy from execution.
This is where it gets really practical. Look at how the human role just elevates across the board. In product, you're not hunched over a keyboard writing code. You're deciding which of the agent's implementations is the best one. In platform, you stop manually provisioning servers. You start defining reliability targets for your agents to hit. And in security and quality, the work goes from being reactive, chasing bugs and vulnerabilities, to being proactive and architectural. In every case, humans are focused on the highest leverage work possible.
Right beneath those human-led squads, you've got Layer 4, the AI agent workforce. This is the new engine room. Think about it. These agents work 24/7. They don't have sprint cycles, they never lose context on a task, and they definitely do not need a stand-up meeting. They just execute.
So what kind of agents are we talking about? Well, the source breaks them down into 7 key classes. You've got your code agents, writing and refactoring, test agents that ensure quality on every single commit, deploy agents that manage the entire pipeline, and it goes on. Agents for monitoring, security, documentation, and even a research agent to keep an eye on new tech. Together, they create this incredible, comprehensive, and automated execution layer.
Now, here's the most important point to remember in all of this. These agents are not just running wild. They operate within very specific boundaries and strategies that are defined by the humans in the layers above. It's simple. The agent does the work, but the human always owns the outcome. That's how you maintain alignment and accountability in this new world.
And finally, at the very foundation of it all is Layer 5,
the shared intelligence fabric. You really need to think of this as the organization's nervous system. It's all the stuff that makes the whole system work together. The vector databases that give agents memory, the observability platforms that let you see what they're doing. It's what makes the whole thing trustworthy and coherent. Honestly, without this layer, you just have a bunch of cool AI experiments. With it, you actually have an intelligent organization.
Okay, so drawing a new org chart is one thing. But the truly hard part of this transition, it's dismantling all the old assumptions that are baked into the way we've always worked. The source identifies 6 core beliefs that just have to break for this new model to have any chance of succeeding.
First up, the role of a manager. It completely transforms. You're not a line manager of people anymore. You are now a system orchestrator. Your job is to manage the performance of a hybrid system of humans and agents. That's a whole new skill set, right? It's about setting clear objectives, reviewing AI-generated outputs, and being able to diagnose failures at a system level.
Second, let's all just say goodbye to the 2-week sprint. It's dead. Sprints were invented to manage the high cost of human coordination, but agents? They have almost zero coordination cost. Forcing them into a sprint cycle is like putting a speed limiter on a Formula 1 car. It makes no sense. The whole organization has to move to a model of continuous flow.
Third, we have to change how we measure success. The question, so how many engineers do you have on your team, becomes totally irrelevant. Who cares? What really matters is what your system is shipping, the speed, the reliability, the quality of its output. As a leader, you have to pivot from valuing headcount to valuing outcomes, period.
Number 4 is about code review. It has to elevate. When an agent writes the code, you're not there to check for semicolons or style guide violations. Your job is to validate whether the agent actually understood the intent. Did it get the business logic right? Did it consider that tricky user edge case? The bar for human engineering judgment actually goes up here, not down. Fifth, those rigid organizational silos we all know, they have to break down. To be really effective, agents need context from all across the business. You know, a deploy agent might need real-time data from a security agent to make a smart decision. The org has to become much more fluid, like a mesh network, connected across all those traditional boundaries. And finally, number 6. Quality is no longer a gate at the end of a cycle. It's not a thing a QA team does last. With test agents and monitor agents running constantly, quality just becomes an embedded property of the system itself. It's always on, always measuring, and always improving. So, after seeing all that, you're probably asking, okay, this is huge. Where on earth do I even begin? And the good news is, you don't have to blow up your entire organization on Monday morning. The key here is to evolve, not to revolutionize overnight. Here is a super simple but really powerful 90-day plan. Just start with one team. 1. Sit down with them and define which tasks are going to move to agents and what the human lead will focus on instead. Then define success. What specific outcomes are you trying to improve? Is it delivery speed? System quality? Then measure it like crazy. Learn from it, and then repeat the process with the next team.
And really, that leaves us with the one question that every single engineering leader should be obsessing over right now. Because the companies that are going to define the next decade of software, they won't be the ones with the most engineers. They're going to be the ones who figure out, first, how to make humans and agents truly build amazing things together.